Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, Dead Island 2 for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Dead Island 2 is the sequel to the long-running Dead Island franchise. Not necessarily long-running in terms of entries, but long-running because it came out back in the Xbox 360, PS3 era with a co-op focused zombie bashing game full of loot, customization options, and rather corny B-movie style dialogue and story moments. And thankfully, a lot of that charm, a lot of what made Dead Island 1 so much fun to play and so much to enjoy is in Dead Island 2, not only from a gameplay perspective, but also from a narrative and character perspective. You take control of one of 6 Slayers who have varying degrees of abilities, base stats, and weapon expertise as they try to move throughout California in hopes of getting to a safe zone after discovering that they are immune to the infection. This allows the player to go throughout various hubs instead of the more open world scenario like in Dead Island 1, where you would go throughout this entire open world. You have this map, and then you get to a certain story point and it will take you to another part of the map, pretty much locking you out temporarily, at least until the end game, from one section of the entire map. This game actually allows you to explore various forms of California designated into hubs, be it Beverly Hills, Bel Air, and eventually other areas outside of the starting areas. But you can go back to those. You can fast travel, or you can just utilize the exit areas by walking through certain gates. The root and base gameplay is very reminiscent of the original Dead Island. With melee weapons, you're able to hack slash bash zombies in grand form. One of the additions to the gameplay compared to the original is the ability to do a finisher. If you're able to block at the right time, have a perfect block, you'll be able to stun an enemy and grab them and perform a finishing blow that, depending on how much health that enemy has, will actually kill them or just knock them down for a few seconds for potentially a head bashing stomp. The game, just like the original, feels a little floaty at times. When it comes to the impact and the oomph behind hitting enemies, it may not feel as impactful as one would expect, especially when you saw the initial trailers. I heard a lot of complaints about gun usage, and I will say that yes, just like the melee attacks, it does lack a little bit of impact and oomph behind some shots, especially when utilizing, say, the shotgun. For me, actually aiming and shooting wasn't that big of a problem like I heard a lot of people saying about the actual gunplay in this game. One of the things I really do enjoy is the way they've implemented throwable objects like projectiles such as shurikens and Molotov cocktails that work on a cooldown timer instead of, say, having a certain amount and then if you use them up you have nothing. This way it makes it a little bit more difficult while also not hindering the player where they have to pay and constantly craft certain objects to have them in their inventory. Also, one of the biggest things that they promoted was the Fury meter, which allows you to go into this zombie-like, over-aggressive, ultra-powerful one-hit kill mode due to your infection overwhelming. It's something that's actually introduced a lot later than I expected. One of the interesting aspects compared to the original that they've changed up is the addition of the skill deck. Instead of you utilizing points that you've gained to purchase skills through a skill tree as per the norm, you're gifted skill cards as you level up. And you're able to place these cards in a deck that also levels up as you level up, opening up more slots so you can put more cards in your deck. You can switch out the cards at any time. These cards have some very, very impressive abilities and attributes and increases to the overall character that you're playing with. For example, I'm playing with Ryan the firefighter, and one of the first cards I got was the ability to pull off perfect blocks, and if I did, I would regain a little bit of health with each attack, which was incredible because it really helped the early game where I didn't feel just overwrought with the idea of I am playing by myself, and if I get overrun, I most likely will die. This game doesn't have any difficulty settings, but the enemies do level up alongside you, as do the missions themselves. Speaking of playing alone, I have to talk about co-op. And as like the original Dead Island, you can jump in, jump out of co-op with ease. You can also invite friends or can be invited into a game. But one of the big differences between this version and the previous version, or a lot of games that have drop-in, drop-out co-op, is the fact that the hosting player's progress isn't the only thing that progresses. The game actively searches for people that are playing the same mission that you're currently in, specifically the main story mission. And if you play that mission and complete it, it will actually progress to the next mission, both if you're playing cooperatively or if you back out and go and start your own game. So if you're playing this game with people, both randoms or friends, you actually gain progress as you play either single player or with others. This also is beneficial to certain challenges. Most of these challenges are very much paint by the numbers, kill 1,000 zombies, kill zombies with certain elemental attacks, but certain challenges are actually locked behind certain mission points, so if you haven't gotten to that mission yet or completed that mission, you cannot complete those challenges. And for certain people like yours truly, thinking that your challenges were glitched because it didn't make any sense why I was not increasing, say, shocking 50 enemies after I've shocked so many so far, only to find out that I haven't gotten to the mission that unlocks certain mission challenges. It's something that should have been explained or at least grayed out on the menu so you wouldn't know about these challenges until you got to that point where you could actually complete these challenges. From a narrative perspective, there's not much to go on with this. One of the big things about it, beyond the fact that Sam B does arrive early in the story, is the fact that this game doesn't have really a lot of ties narratively to the original Dead Island. There are actually several types of missions. There are the main story missions. There are side quests that are usually fetch quests, or just smaller versions of clean up this area of zombies. There's also these scavenger hunt style lost and found missions where you have to go to certain areas, pick up notes, read, and figure out where you have to go to next. Technically, the game is mostly stable. It is in a better shape than Dead Island 1 or even Riptide was when they came out all those years ago. But I've had some issues here and there, mostly graphical glitches, some hit detection problems, enemies spawning randomly even if you've cleared out an area or entering a new area and see them visibly materializing right in front of you. I had one major hard crash where I lost literally 5 seconds thanks to the game's great autosave system. Thankfully I had no problems from a connectivity perspective playing online with others. For all the positives, overall, I have to say Dead Island 2, as good as it is, as fun as it is, as enjoyable as it has been, especially compared to the original games, it still feels like been there, done that. It doesn't feel that overly unique, it doesn't feel that overly revolutionary, it doesn't feel overly must play right now, unless you have a group of friends who want to play the game right now. It's a very fun experience. It's something that if you've enjoyed these type of games, if you've enjoyed these zombie bashing semi-open world experiences from a day gone by, then this is a great game for you. But I still wouldn't say that it's worth the full $70. If you can wait for it to go on sale for $40, $50, I think you'll be better off in the long run. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. Dead Island 2 for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Now if you don't mind, I have to help an old aging rock star find the masters to his music that he really can't even remember what it sounds like anymore. But one of the best things about helping these people that can't help themselves is frying up a bunch of zombies and having them scream out, "Oh Lordy!"